Hey little hoes, my name is Kristen and welcome back to my channel. So the theme of today's video is getting rid of things. The whole process of moving plants outside, back inside, made me sort of assess my likes and dislikes about every plant. And I decided there's some things, some uggos, some disappointments, some failures that I am ready to cut ties with. Now, the title of the video, Let Us Yeet. What does yeet mean for those of you who do not know terminology of today's youth? Me included, had to look this up. Yeet means to throw something away with high velocity, according to the Urban Dictionary. Well, it's morning now, and the only thing that gets done with extreme velocity is me chugging coffee. So, I won't be literally throwing them out, but I will be trying to find new homes for some of the things that I will be getting rid of today. And I think it's important for anyone, whether you're new or more experienced, to assess your collection occasionally, because there are plants that just don't live up to expectation. They don't particularly do well in your care, or you just don't have a connection to them. And it's okay to not like a plant. It's okay to get rid of a plant that you don't like. You don't have to hold on to things you don't like. And I know there are the group of plant people that think every plant is special and awesome and wonderful for its own reasons, even despite its shortcomings, but that's not true. Sometimes they're just heinous, with an emphasis on the anus. And nothing you can do can make them look good. So why not regift it if it's not pest-ridden or completely dead, decimated, whatever. So I will be doing that. I will be giving whatever I don't keep to coworkers, etc. So they're not going to be just thrown out unless there's something wrong with them. So yeah, let us begin. I will kind of go over some of my reasonings behind getting rid of the things that I do today. So first grouping of things, one was on the kitchen windowsill, and then the other three were out in the living room on the rack. This one in the kitchen, an aeonium. It's a black form of aeonium. It started out super cute, and I was really digging the foliage on it. And I still do love the color, just because you don't really see that black of foliage in nature too often. I thought it was cool, but it's just not doing well, and nothing I seem to attempt to remedy this has worked. It might have some mealybugs up in there, so I don't know. I might wash it off and see if anyone wants it at work, but I might just toss it. I was never really into aeoniums, echeverias to begin with, but now I'm just done. Second is a plant I started from cuttings, Neon Pothos, I believe, and I don't know, maybe no, I just know myself. I'm not super into this plant, and yes, I could keep it, put it somewhere dark and depressing, and not look after it, but it should just go somewhere that someone will appreciate it and love it, and I'm just not that person. Then this sad fellow, this is, oh, that has mealybugs, yep. This is either like a golem or hobbit jade with those tubular sort of foliage. It has never done well for me. There's literally never been a time that it has looked good. This is probably rock bottom for it. Last year I did put it outside because it had mealybugs and I wanted to systemic and treat outdoors and bring back in. Well, it never really recovered from the mealybugs, and I think it's just on a downhill spiral, and I'm ready to get rid of it. The other one is a pregnant onion, and yes, I have neglected this shamefully. It was really cool in the head planter I had it in, but it was growing so much in there that I was worried it would bust the head. So I repotted it in this, and it never really recovered. I think I probably am letting it dry out way too much between waterings. And then I just stopped to reassess, do I really even like this plant? The answer is no. Thank you to my friend Erin for giving it to me many years ago. I did get some enjoyment out of it, but now I think it's time for it to find a new home. It's still savable, but I just don't care for the big strappy onion-like foliage on it. The only redeeming quality is how cool the little bulbs are. Pregnant mommy onion. That's about it. That is the extent of its interest for me, so I will be rehoming this. Round 2, what I'm getting rid of. This little succulent thing, I don't remember the name. It has never done particularly well. Has a kind of a cool furry stem, ruffly foliage, but nothing else particularly going right with this thing. Some Sansevieria, I think it's like Superbum or Laurentii. It's been this way for probably 6 months or more. Hasn't grown. I'm just kind of sick of looking at it. If I get another one, it'll probably be a more mature specimen. Broken pot, a random succulent, and I hate these type because they literally all their foliage will just pop off if you touch it the wrong way. I don't care for the growth habit on it either. It's pretty stringy. I know I could cut it back, but it was never my favorite to begin with. I'm done looking at it. And then this Ferro Cactus, or Ferrero Cactus, as I call it, my Ferrero Rocher Danger Ball. It is very elongated, and somehow this triggers me. I literally have it in the sunroom, the brightest, sunniest spot one could imagine, and still it stretched. So I imagine it did this, or started to, during the winters and has just continued to grow like this. I'm not into it anymore, so hopefully someone else will get enjoyment. One more from the kitchen. And this one, I am still kind of slightly on the fence with. The Brazil philodendron, or pothos, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not getting the enjoyment out of it that I probably should. I'm not really caring for it as much as I should, so I might re-gift this guy too. We shall see. So, next round of victims. These are my Mandanella magnifica seedlings. I grew these guys from seeds. I do still have a large plant outside that was cutting grown. And you'll look at these and say, Kristen, these are sadly neglected. And I'll say, yes, halfway. The other half is Mandanella is just a very finicky, dramatic plant. And it needs very specific humidity. It does not like to be disturbed at all. Yeah, I potted I took these guys out of the big pot that was with the cutting, transplanted these in spring, and they quickly went into shock. I did forget to water along the way with these guys. The big cutting grown one has been outside, and it's just suffered heavily from the shock of transplant. I have a feeling it's going to be difficult to get it to bloom, so I'm thinking these guys are going to be donated, find a new home, and I know someone with a greenhouse that might be able to coax these into looking better. So yeah, these guys gonna be getting the yeet. A few other things I haven't brought inside yet, but some various succulents. I do like this guy, and this guy is a flapjack. The rest I'm not really interested in, so I think I will give these to coworkers, see if they want them, but they just take up a little too much space. I've also discovered about myself that I prefer like a single plant in a pot versus dishes of various things. Just not my style. So these guys will be given away. I also have a ton of Sarapagia cuttings that I need to rehome. Probably gonna pot these up soon, and I need them gone. They're taking up some space. There's at least 3 containers of these guys. So I think I'll be trying to find homes for a majority of these. I'm also tempted to get rid of this epiphyllum, orchid cactus, night blooming cereus, what have you. I bought it when it was in bloom, or in bud I should say, and it bloomed shortly thereafter. It was amazing, amazing fragrance to it, but just its growth habit. I mean, look at those stringy bits. It's like when you were a kid and you threw pasta noodles at the wall to see if it was done. I mean, look at that. It's kind of ugly. And I feel bad that it's ugly. And I think these guys are going to be kind of tough to get to bloom, especially in colder climates. I'm sure if you live somewhere, Florida, California, you could put it outside for most of the year. You'd get more blooms, but I just have a feeling this guy is kind of done. This is some Cebu Blue that I have had propagating on my rack in the living room for months now. I just whacked these off my main basket because it was trailing on the floor, getting too long. I just don't really have a need for these or purpose, so I might as well find someone who will appreciate them. Anyway, guys, that concludes today's video. I just needed to do this plant purge. I want to make space for things that I am will be getting. I just needed to remind myself too that not every plant is worth growing, and it's okay to move on from some of them. Let me know in the comments, have you guys gotten rid of any plants recently? Have you done a purge in your own plant collection, and what were they and why? I would love to know. Anyway, I hope you all are staying safe, healthy, and sane, and I will talk to y'all soon. Oh, goodbye.